We're here today with one of those survivors of St. John, Brenda Fluker. Welcome, Brenda.
Hi, glad to be here to tell my story.
Good. So what is your connection to the St. John neighborhood?
I was born and raised on St. John Street, went to school there, went to all three schools, Fairview, Lowell, and Central. I had worked there, lived in two different places there, and from the neighborhood.
What did the St. John community mean to you?
Home, and to sum it up in one big word is home. You knew everybody. It just felt home. It felt peaceful. It felt...
So, Brenda, when did your family first come to Flint?
I'm not really sure. My grandma came from, that raised me. She came from Tula, Mississippi. My grandfather that raised me, he came from the bad part of St. Louis, Missouri. They had to come before 33. So somewhere around that time frame, they came. My grandfather worked at Buick. My grandmother was mainly a housewife. They talked about the Depression in 1933, so it had to be prior to that.
You were born and raised in the St. John neighborhood?
Most definitely, all my life.
Okay, what was a day like in the St. John neighborhood?
Fun. Fun. We had puppies, we had dogs, it was just fun. We played games, hide and go see. You knew everybody in the neighborhood. We had grapes in the back of our houses. We had peach trees. Mom and them had gardens that they did. We sort of self-sufficient with our own foods. Mom cooked navy beans with pigtails and pig feet and all that good stuff. I enjoyed the puzzles that we used to put together at home. We'd get the puzzles from Goodwill, and if a puzzle piece was missing, which more than likely it could have been, my grandfather would cut it out and make that puzzle. We had the family nights, family time. We had educational days. We had Greek mythology that we learned. We did math puzzles. It was just fun. Naturally, you had to be in by the streetlight. The streetlights say come in, you come in. I had a dog that used to walk me to school and he'd come back home. We just had fun. You didn't know that people said we was poor. We didn't understand that.
How would you describe the St. John neighborhood to somebody who had never been there?
Oh, I think that we were, like I said, we were self-sufficient. You could leave your doors open. You could leave your windows open. You would get in trouble with the person next door. They tell your mama. You shared food together. You shared your children. We had, at the churches, we had things like Tom Thumb weddings, and we sold tickets for that. We had parades. We had drill teams. I was a majorette. We had fun and doing stuff like that. You could probably get a little credit at the stores if you needed it. The bakery, you could smell, when you wake up, you just knew everybody, and you could spend the night with different people. It was good. It was fun.
If there was one place you could go back to in St. John again, what would that place be?
Probably St. John Center.
Well, tell us about the St. John Center.
At the St. John Center, you could do a lot of different community things. They had a lady, black lady, that taught us how to dance, whether you could do ballet, you could do tap dance, all the different activities that you could do outside or inside or that you learned in school, you could do. I would probably go also back to Fairview School where I started, because I was in the Breakfast Club where we served the underprivileged kids, but we didn't know he's underprivileged. She taught us how, Miss Broadway taught us how to sew, how to textile painting, how to embroidery, how to fix breakfasts. She had parent-teacher conferences, just a lot of things like that. The schools and the community center, because it brought everybody together.
What was so special about the St. John?
The people. The people, don't know how you say the word, the camaraderie that we had. You knew everybody. You got along pretty much with everybody. We owned our own stuff. You didn't have to worry about is the fruit good or not good, or are the greens any good, or you come get some greens out of my garden, or that, and the children that we played with. You knew the neighborhood. You knew what was going on pretty much. Well, not as a little kid, but your family knew what was going on in the neighborhood, and we just enjoyed it.
And it takes us to the part of the story that's not so good. And that's the highway and urban renewal coming. When did you...
Not urban renewal, urban removal, okay? Because they removed all of us. They removed us. I'm not sure if it was part of Buick, it was part of the highway, or who it was that got us. They wanted to build 475, a highway through there. And we were given monies to move, but the monies that we were given to move could not have bought a house. It might let you rent a house. I got my house when I moved because I got it as a HUD house, which is not necessarily developed like it should be. And matter of fact, the area that I moved in ended up being like a swamp area for what y'all call Devil's Lake. The water can run through and probably under and everything else, because I got flooded in my house quite a bit. And no, it wasn't the best thing for us to move.
Okay, what do you remember about when the freeway came? Do you remember when people started talking about it? Do you remember when it actually started building it? What do you remember about it?
Not a whole lot. I know that Fairview School had a nice little hill that we could slide up and down, and all that started getting moved off of Lee Street. When some of that kind of stuff started, I was gone when they actually started tearing it up.
Do you think there could ever be justice for what happened?
No. No. You can't have justice because they done forgot it even existed. So no, you ain't no justice. They can't put nothing back. I don't think they would ever, because they always calling broke. They couldn't do any reparations. I think that they should do the history. And they should talk to a lot of people like you're doing about the history. And I'm quite sure you will get all kinds of stories. Like the justice we're getting is what you're doing right now. To have the people talk about what happened. And the only problem is we got to catch these people before they die. It hurts it hurts that you don't know I'm here. It hurts that I can't tell my kids about what I did, what games I played, or show them. My son came here from Texas, and him and his little girlfriend, I took them to my neighborhood. It hurts because you can't show that part of your life. You can't show the games you played. You can't say, okay, I used to cook on this. I used to, like I told you about the steps across from that's still there from my house, but now you done built something over. I know my trees was there. My trees was there. I could take my kids and show them that my trees was there by the step. I could show you that dog ran out the house because he had messed all over himself. I could show you them things. I can't do that. I can't show you none of that. I can't show you where we had 1122 Central. I can't show you that it was chickens next door. The rooster would wake us up. I can't show you them things no more. I can't open up a book. I can't open up a book and show you that was there. Because there ain't no books about St. John Street. Once you're in that community, you know your people. You be proud of who I am. I'm proud of where I came from, even though it don't exist anymore, but it's gonna exist again. It's gonna exist again. I promise you that. If you gotta depend on my mouth, it will exist again. Sorry.
Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you want to tell me about St. John or growing up, about your parents, about anything?
Like I said, you forgot me. You act like I didn't exist. We want to do a mural of all the people that started over there. We want to do it on that Lee Street underbridge wall. And it's going to include everybody that was in there, the trials, the tribulations, what we went through, what the people look like, about the churches, the good times, the bad times, like you asked about the games. You forgot about that. It was there, it was real. And I'm going to start crying now, so we're not going to talk about it no more. Because you feel it, you feel your childhood. You feel where you were and just erase it like it was never there. That's wrong, and it shouldn't happen. And I get teary, so I get emotional and stuff, especially when I talk about it. You get people that you remember. This one guy, his father's got a whole bunch of books that I'm trying to get from him that show you the people that died over there. We had a lot of people. We had a lot of people. A lot of people had to stay with other people in order till they got rolling and surviving. We had all these things. They don't even have our street signs up on some of the streets anymore. And we played on the streets. We visited, we spent the night on some of them streets. And you act like it didn't, you act like we just got extinct. We're not no extinct animals. We're real people. I'm sorry. You have to ask the next question.
How did you get forgotten?
I don't know what they did. They removed us when they put that thing through there. When they put that expressway through there. And we all got scattered everywhere.
Brenda, you have a fascinating story, and you're a survivor of one of the thousands of people that got displaced from St. John. So thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. It feels good. You ask what I'm proud of, it feels good to tell my story. It does. Thank you.